Doom is good. Old Doom? New Doom? The answer for both is yes, they're good. But modding wise, let's be honest, 93 Doom's open sourced code and source ports give it a ton more modding potential than that little toy snap map. But you knew that already, didn't ya? Because if you've played Doom in the past 5 or so years, you've probably played the Brutal Doom mod. And so have I, and I love Brutal Doom, especially with Project Brutality installed. Shame is that people tend to stop there with Doom mods when there's over 20 years worth of mods to try out. I play tons of Doom mods, all the time, and I feel it's time to share some of my favorites. I also want to note that I very deliberately use the word mod here. These aren't exactly WODs, which are maps for the most part. Every one of these mods features its own unique weapons, maps, and gameplay distinct from the original Doom. Now in no particular order, here they are. But before you ask, downloads are in the description. In fact, I even include my own made zip in the description that has everything you need to play all the mods shown in this video. If any mod here requires the Doom 2 WOD, or in this case Free Doom, I'll tell you in the bottom left corner of the screen. You're welcome, guys. Doom is all about fast action, but we can push it farther. Reelism is Doom mixed with Horde-type games and then turned up to 11, maybe even 12. The basic concept is that you go into one of many maps and attempt to survive as long as possible in 60-second long waves of enemies. The catch is that every wave 3 slots roll that determine weapon drops, enemy types, and even effects that are applied to you, like turning into a nigh invincible dog whose barks are practically nukes. Reelism isn't complicated. It's all about action and nothing else. It has less plot than Doom, but twice the violence. Reelism is insane, fun, and apparently supports co-op. I feel the images on your screen right now describe it a lot better than I ever could. Expect to have a lot of fun with Reelism, but don't expect to live very long. Is Doom too dark for you? Do you want something a bit more upbeat? Alright then, how about Super Mario 64? Oh, you want Doom though. Then how about Doom the Golden Souls? The Golden Souls is a mod for Doom with the basic idea of recreating the experience of the Super Mario series in Doom. It's not Super Mario Doom necessarily, but it shares a lot of attributes of Super Mario 64 and kinda the series at large. But mostly Super Mario 64 though. Levels are paintings, coins are everywhere, stars are golden souls now, the Yoshi coins from Super Mario World are here as Doom Guy coins, and the general art is heavily inspired from Mario locales, not to mention some music is straight ripped from Mario games. Gameplay-wise, there's a huge emphasis on platforming. With some F6 quick saves, it isn't so bad, but overall this is a really tough mod. It's really fun though. The weapons feel great, the levels are highly stylized and varied, and it never gets boring. The creator is now actively working on a sequel, and from its playful demo, it's looking pretty great. You jump a lot higher now, and the weapons have seen some notable upgrades. I have never seen a better super shotgun reload. There's only the 3-level demo as of right now, but the quality's so good I decided to include it in the mod pack I created for this video that's in the description. Friendly reminder, to use any of these .pk3 mods, simply drag them onto GZ Doom and use Free Doom Phase 2. What? Oh, this isn't Doom? Are you sure it's not just a really good mod? Okay, I'm kidding. This is Hocus Pocus, a DOS platformer published by Apogee Software in 1994. Why do I bring it up though? Well, because someone recreated it in 3D using the Doom engine. Hocus Pocus never made an official transition to 3D, but this certainly feels like it. The gist of the game is to go through each level and collect all of these round crystals in the level. Do that, and well, you're done. In each level there's a few types of enemies, traps, and these lightning bolts let you fire faster. It's pretty simple, but it does work. Honestly, it's just so impressive to see a game as obscure as Hocus Pocus so lovingly recreated. It's fun too though. This mod shares Doom's penchant for secret rooms and fast combat. It also has these wizards that just straight hate you, and it's honestly kinda funny. So try this one out to experience a proper 3D recreation of a game you've probably never even heard of. Alright, this next one is what I consider to be the most technically impressive Doom mod on this list. And it's a Sonic fan game. Yes, in the miles of garbage that are Sonic fan games, one shines out far above the rest, and it's Sonic Robo Blast 2. Sonic Robo Blast 2 aims to capture the feel of the old Sonic games and transition it properly into 3D, sorta like Hocus Pocus Doom. But if you think it was made as some sort of response to the 3D Sonic games, well, you're wrong, because the first release of Sonic Robo Blast 2 came out in February of 1998, 10 months before Sonic Adventure's original Japanese release. The most impressive part, though, is that it's still being updated. In fact, an update came out while I was making this video. Let's talk about the gameplay, though. There's 3 unique characters, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. The game tells you that Sonic is for experts only, but the way the game is designed is clearly around playing Sonic, with Knuckles being, hey, not too rough, and Tails being, I'm too young to die, if you catch my drift. Sonic moves fast in this, but not in the forced way that Sonic Generations, Colors, Secret Rings, etc. make you move. You can go in any direction you want, and it feels liberating. The level design clearly takes some cues from Doom itself. They're big levels, often with many secrets and even some alternate routes. Its stop-and-go style really reminds me of the classic Sonic games. The thing is though is that the better you are and the more knowledgeable of the levels you are, the faster you can go. Someone with no clue of what to do will finish levels with minutes more than an expert. If you've always been itching for a good 3D Sonic game that's true to the original style of Sonic, here you go. Just remember to turn down your mouse sensitivity and switch the renderer to OpenGL. Trust me, otherwise the speed of it all might actually make you sick. If you want to know what a kid-friendly Doom looks like, well then play Chex Quest. But if you want to know what a great kid-friendly-ish Doom looks like, play The Adventures of Square. This unique mod takes the gameplay of Doom and gives it a very literal fresh coat of paint. Weapons are paint guns, and your enemies will explode into paint if you shoot them enough. You see, your character Square is defending his square friends from the Circle Menace and will do so at extreme PG-rated prejudice. It really sounds like a concept kids would come up with. But the design of this mod is certainly not something kids could have made. Experts clearly worked on this. Everything has new texture. Instead of equivalent weapons, we actually have a few new ones, but the equivalents that are here are still pretty great. For instance, the shot bow is probably the best replacement I've ever seen for the Doom standard shotgun. While it does retain the typical Doom gameplay, the sheer number of new assets here make it a professional and original product. That being said, there's only one episode right now, so Doom veterans are likely to speed through this in just a couple hours on their first try. However, development is still very active, and the developers Big Brick stream themselves working on the game almost constantly. I can't wait to see more from this team. Earlier in this very video, we talked about Sonic Robo Blast 2, a mod that takes the gameplay of the older Sonic games and attempts to properly transition it to 3D. Then let's talk about Mega Man 8-Bit Deathmatch, a mod that takes the gameplay and aesthetic style of Mega Man and creates an arena shooter out of it. I just said it takes the aesthetic style of Mega Man, but that doesn't really cut it.
pretty much perfectly replicates the art and sound of Mega Man in creation of this mod, and that's saying something because there are even some original characters here. There's even a campaign mode. The gist here is that, in the single player mode, you're going to be playing through a variety of stages, each with their own unique weapons, and trying to end up first each time. It's easy at first, but you may get surprised at how difficult it can get over time. Technically you're playing as Mega Man, but there's like a billion skins you can choose from in addition to a surprisingly large amount of weapons. As you go around the stages, you'll find that everyone now has Mega Man's power of absorbing weapon types, evening the playing field and making this all fit better as an arena shooter. Some weapons are better than others, of course, and just like the classics like Quake 3, knowing where all these weapons spawn can mean the difference between success and failure. Really though, it's all about the aesthetic here. This really is the best version of what it can be. I simply cannot imagine this mod being a better translation of the 8-bit Mega Man games to a 3D perspective. Sure, it isn't really a platformer, but I think you'll understand what I mean when you play it. Now, it's worth mentioning that Mega Man 8-bit Deathmatch also has an online multiplayer component that I've heard is actually semi-active, but I haven't touched it, so I'll leave that exploration to you guys. Oh, and guess what? That's all I have to say. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. On the left is a link to my Twitter that I occasionally use, feel free to tweet at me. And on the right is my jokey Tumblr. In the description there is a mod pack that includes everything you saw in this video, yes, even Brutal Doom. And I also included individual links to everything in that mod pack in case you want to download that stuff separately. You'll also find the list of music used in this video in the order that it played. Anyways, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you sooner this time. Sorry about the wait, I worked full-time over summer and some other things came up, so I got really sidetracked. But yeah, see you again, and trust me, it won't take this long again.